Well, I think it is all about being open and honest about both the benefits of the system as well as the challenges of the systems, and the exact means of how to address these challenges, right? I mean, on the benefit side, obviously, there's a number of things to be mentioned. I mean, has a carbon price in these sectors would certainly have a very strong steering effect towards decarbonization, and really help both households and firms in the very different EU member states really moving in the right direction, so to speak. And another certain benefit is that we do have the revenues from such a system, right? Unlike other instruments, from a carbon price, we derive revenues. They can be recycled and they can be put into certain programs that really help the people with the transition, that really compensate, especially low-income households. With respect to the challenges, as we've already heard, social impacts are a main challenge, but we can alleviate them with the revenues. And I think this is one of the core messages that needs to be put out there, and that this is an instrument that can really help benefit people when they're transitioning towards our climate goals. And
so I think the blind spots in terms of how the Romanian policymakers are understanding this package are related to the opportunities that come with this mechanism. So we don't talk that much about the social climate fund and how the revenues can be recycled. We don't talk about what we do with the taxes that we collect. So, okay, we implement ETS II. There will be taxation on buildings and transportation, but how this will benefit the society? How can we alleviate the vulnerable consumer and the vulnerable households? And also, how can we achieve the climate targets? We don't present this in an integrated and part of a system. We don't highlight the positive aspects and the fact that we, all the European countries, agreed on the European Green Deal and are part of this framework that will decarbonize the entire society. So I think there is a need to highlight and emphasize on these aspects.
Quite important to also use existing instruments just to highlight what can be the benefits. And in this context, Modernization Fund is a good example. Some practical steps may also be to front load perhaps some of the social climate fund so that people start to see it even slightly before they start seeing higher carbon prices, highlighting the fact that this is just equalizing the carbon price for everyone. It's also quite important. And maybe a final point is also that it's a way to invest in our energy independence, and we can pay the carbon price now and invest in a low carbon solution instead of waiting for next crisis and pay a lot of money to some foreign regimes which use it for much worse purposes than investing in just transition.
And even if we look at some public opinion surveys, we see that lots of Czechs want to actually behave in a greener way, more sustainable way, but sometimes they don't have the options to do it. So I think we really have to frame ETS II as a key mechanism that will help enable this, because it will also generate lots of revenues, which then can be used to invest, for example, in more affordable public transportation, insulation of houses, which will end up decreasing the costs of heating for families and so on. So I think these benefits or this positive side should also be highlighted, as well as some other co-benefits that it would bring, such as cleaner air, especially in the cities. That it is about reframing it not as something that would increase the cost of living, but as something that will improve the quality of living.